Y'all come on in, man. Drop a comment in the chat. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. Come on in. Come on in. Man, hope everybody having a great day. It's a little chilly out here today, but you know, it is what it is. Ain't too bad. You know what I mean? At least it ain't hot. But yeah, y'all come on in, man. Drop a comment in the chat. I wanna talk about something today. I wanna talk about the red herring. And I got a few points I wanna hit. So hold on, let me make sure I got my notes right here. Y'all come on in, man. If you come in, please hit that like button. Also, drop a comment in the chat. Let me know where you tuning in from. What's going on, Homesteading for real? What's going on, fam? Shalom, family. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all hit that like button as y'all come in, man. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. But I want to talk about the red herring today. And look, I ain't gonna be too long today. I ain't gonna be too long. It just depends, but I don't plan on being too long. But I want to talk about the red herring. You know what I'm saying? And that phrase and where it comes from and how that applies to us right now. Let me know in the chat if you've ever heard of that saying. You know, if you ever heard of a red herring. Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Also, let me know where y'all tuning in from. But let me know if y'all know what a red herring is. Because I feel like that applies to what's going on today with a lot of stuff, right? And we're going to break it down. So y'all come on in, man. Drop a comment in the chat. Let me know where you tuning in from, and we're going to get on into it. Because like I said, I don't plan to be here very long with y'all, but I want to bring this topic to y'all. Right. So the red herring. So for those of you who don't know what a red herring is, so basically a herring is a fish. Alamo City, I'm finna go ahead and hide you from my channel. Yep, there you go. Trolls will be blocked. All trolls will be blocked. But so basically what a red herring is a fish, right? And so the origin of the term red herring, I want to say it comes from the 1800s. And back in the 1800s, it was basically coined by someone who was calling out a lot of the propaganda that was going on. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of things were misleading. Yeah, there go another troll. I'm gonna go ahead and block you too. What's up with the trolls today? What's up with the trolls today? Look, we talking about something real and the trolls want to come in. But the show must go on. Drop a comment in chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Also hit that like button, right? So a red herring is a fish, right? And so basically, like I say, it was coined back in the 1800s. And it was basically a guy that was calling out a lot of the propaganda that was going on. But what the term means is basically, so, well, I'm gonna tell you how it originates and what it means, right? So it originates from, you know, a smoked herring, which is a fish, you know what I'm saying, a red herring. They would smoke it. And it was actually used to train hunting dogs or hound dogs. They have nothing else better to do, shaking my head. Exactly, Homesteading for real. That's why I ain't even worried. The show must go. The show goes on. The show must go on. I ain't even worried about the trolls. As I see them, I'ma block them. But so it was used to train hound dogs, right? Or it was used to distract hound dogs. So basically, they would smoke, you know what I'm saying, these herring fish, and it brings off a real strong smell. What made you get into gardening? Looks cool. Appreciate it. I'll talk about that another time. Calaman, man, I don't even know how to say your name, but I'll talk about that another time, right? But I want to talk about the red herring today. So, you know, when they smoke this fish, you know, it gives off a strong odor, right? So, like, say for instance, if they are trying to track down a scent using a hound dog, like a bloodhound or any type of hound dog that uses its nose to track a scent, if somebody places a red herring and they'll drag that fish on the ground, it was used to kind of distract the hound dog or train it to not be distracted. But basically, the scent was to throw off the hound dog from finding the original thing that it's supposed to be sniffing out for. And so basically what a red herring is in terms of, you know, just the phrase is when somebody throws out maybe an argument or maybe a point or a question meant to throw off, you know, the person who they're talking to or conversating with, it's meant to throw them off from the main point and the main problem. So it's a distraction. It's a technique to distract people, right? It's a technique to distract people. And so oftentimes it's misleading. You see what I'm saying? Like I say, like, you know, you could be talking with somebody. Like, for instance, say you ever been like in a debate or argument with somebody, and they'll, you know what I'm saying, like you hitting the main point, right? They might have did something that you didn't like, you trying to address it, you trying to correct something or whatever. And while you are having this back and forth with them, they'll say, well, what about X, Y, and Z? It don't got nothing to do with what's going on now. They might bring up something that happened way in the past or something that don't even got nothing to do with them, in hopes of throwing you off to get you off the main topic, the main message of what we're, so me and you might be, you know, in an argument about, hey, I don't like the way that, you know what I'm saying, you talked to me. I felt like that was disrespectful, right? And so now we're, you know, we're going back and forth. This is the main issue, disrespect. I don't like how you talk to me, right? And in the midst of that back and forth, you throw a red herring and say, well, you know, you did this in the past, or hey, you did that in the past. And it's like, well, that don't have nothing to do with me coming to you about what you just did to me and how I perceived that and how I took that. You just threw a red herring to get me off course to try to explain myself. You see what I'm saying? And try to justify myself when the topic is really you. You're really the problem right now. So that is what a red herring is, right? It's a distraction. It's something to mislead you and kind of throw you off course, right? Like I said, they would smoke these herring fish and they would, you know what I'm saying, use them to distract the hounds from finding the thing that they are sniffing after, right? And so we see that going on in politics. We see that going on in our country right now. We see that going on with everything, where they are giving us different things that we should care about, right? That takes away all of our attention from off of the real problems that's going on, right? There's real problems that we're seeing every day. That's just like, you know what I'm saying, you might have a political figure say, hey, well, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, right? And you say, well, what about this? What, you know what I'm saying? This is really what's pressing right now. This is an issue that's pressing. And then they'll throw a red herring and just throw you off course and get you mad about something else or get you concerned about something else. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like we have to really lock in right now. We have to really lock in right now because the goal is distraction. The goal is to distract people, because this is the thing, right? When people are distracted off of the main root issues, then of course, you know, the root issues don't get solved, but the enemy wins every time. The enemy wins every time because people's attention is on, you know, the red herring. People's attention is on what they told you you're supposed to be mad at versus what you see going on in front of you every day. What's going on, Shia Sunshine? What's going on, fam? You know, and that's the goal, is for all of us to be distracted, right? And when we are distracted, the enemy wins every time, right? The enemy wins every time when we are distracted. And so, you know, for instance, if you are right, the enemy's goal is to distract you, to get you emotional. Exactly, to get you emotional, to get you not logical, to get your attention on somewhere else so that they can rob you blind over here, right? So if any of you are history buffs, or you know, you're well versed in history, you know what I'm saying, there is a so Flavius Josephus, right? For those of you who don't know, Flavius Josephus, he was a Hebrew historian, right? And he lived during the 1st century, around that time, right, when Christ was walking the earth, and after, and all that type of stuff, up until Jerusalem was destroyed by the Romans. And he was giving the account of the events that were taking place up to Jerusalem being sacked by the Romans, right? Titus, Vespasian, and all those people. So he was giving that history, right? If you haven't read that history, I suggest you look it up, Flavius Josephus. But he was talking about how at that time when the Romans were coming against the Jews, or the Yehudim, right? Or the Hebrews, whatever name you want to use, when Rome was coming up against them, right? They laid, you know what I'm saying, they camped around Jerusalem, because you got to think, Jerusalem, you know what I'm saying, it was pretty much secure. They had, you know, it was walls around and everything like that. So the Romans weren't able to infiltrate that easily. They weren't able to just bust through the gates or nothing like that. So they had to camp around them and eventually have, you know, try to wait them out and try to cut off their water supply and their food sources and stuff like that. But anywho, I say all that to say, Flavius Josephus was giving this account of history, and he was saying that during the time where Rome was coming up against Jerusalem, there were different sects of Hebrews, meaning, you know, different religious sects, Pharisees, Sadducees, Zealots, you know, these different religious sects who were divided based off of their beliefs. And at the time that Rome was coming against them, they were warring with each other. So they were distracted internally They were distracted internally and going to war with each other while the enemy was right outside, right here. So the enemy had them focused on the differences within, while the enemy was right there on the outside, just waiting them out and waiting for them to make one wrong move. And that's how Jerusalem ended up falling. Because the Hebrews were warring with each other when the enemy was right outside the gates. Right? They were distracted with their belief system and the differences that they had amongst each other. And the enemy was able to infiltrate from the outside. And that's the goal of the enemy, is to get us distracted. The goal of the enemy is to get us to constantly be staring over here while he's doing whatever he wants to do over there. Right? The goal of the enemy is to get us, you know what I'm saying, so invested in the system and in the careers and you know, in the corporate lifestyle and, you know, in the status quo and everything like that, while they're buying up all the farmland and monopolizing it. You see what I'm saying? While they're buying rights to seeds. There are companies that buy rights to seeds to the point to where you have to buy seeds from these corporations, and if you buy it and plant it out, you can't keep the seeds from that crop. You have to go and buy the seeds that you want to replant from them every year. And if you so happen to keep those seeds and reuse them again, they could sue you. Look it up. Down with the corpos. What you mean by that? What you mean by that? You saying down with the corporations? But there are literally seed companies that have a patent or a copyright on a seed. Mind you, a seed is something that comes from the earth. How can anybody patent or copyright or own something that comes from the earth? You see what I'm saying? Like, that don't even make sense. But anywho, so they copyright, you know, these, you know, seeds and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? Like for instance, with corn, you know what I'm saying? You got certain types of corn, sweet corn, whatever. And of course, they've genetically modified it and stuff like that, which is why they patented it, right? And so they genetically modified it to grow a certain way, meaning grow bigger and faster. And so you have farmers who farm on a mass scale and they buy these seeds from these companies, right? But this is the thing. When you buy that seed and when you start reaping the harvest, the seeds that you get from the harvest, you know, say the corn kernels you get, you're not able to save them and replant them next year. No. You have to go and buy new seeds to be able to replant the very next year from that company, because you can't replant those seeds because you don't own the patent to that. And if you do that, then they're going to sue you. You see what I'm saying? What sense does that make? Yeah, down with the corporations. People will make you pay for air. I'm telling you, in some countries they doing it. They selling bottled air. You see, in some countries they doing it, but no, absolutely, they want to charge you for your very existence. That's why they throw the red herring out to get you to think, oh, well, you know, oh, you're supposed to be patriotic, or you're supposed to care about this career, or you're supposed to care about this or care about that. You know, all these things that they telling you to care about, none of them are actually a necessity for you to care about. You know what I'm saying? None of these things actually tie back to your necessities, except if it's your food, water, shelter, or your protection. Everything else is literally a made-up thing, right? And it's a luxury or something that you can live without. But they've told you that this is what your very livelihood depends on. So you focus so much energy on this that the things that really matter, they're you know what I'm saying, monopolizing that, or they are, you know what I'm saying, doing what, poison in the food source, poison in the air, poison in the water. You know what I mean? Like we have to stop falling for distractions, because distractions are the trick of the enemy, right? The distractions are the trick of the enemy. When we are distracted and when our mind is set on something that doesn't really matter, that they told us that matters, where we've been falling for the propaganda, you know what I mean? Where we've been falling for the news and all that type of stuff, right? And look, I'm not downing none of that stuff. I'm not saying that stuff isn't, you know what I'm saying, can't be informative. But what I'm saying is we have to be very careful, because if that's all you're consuming, right, that's going to be your paradigm, and you're going and your perspective is going to be shifted from what's going on in front of you every day when you walk out of your house to what's on the TV screen or what's on your phone. You know what I mean? Like, they try to make their problems your problems, or not even their problems, but what they perceive should be your problems. They make those your problems, and so they tell you. I'm gonna give you a perfect example of that. I'm gonna give you a perfect example of you know what I'm saying, them telling you what to care about and just how brainwashed people are. Remember when the pandemic, you know, came around, back in 2020, what was they telling everybody to go buy? They was like, well, you need to go buy toilet tissue and hand sanitizer. Those are the main things you need to go buy. That's a red herring. So they telling you this is what you should be focused on. Go focus on toilet paper and hand sanitizer and mask. You can't eat toilet paper to live. You can't drink hand sanitizer to live. What about food and water? Like, I was going to the grocery stores and the shelves were empty. The toilet paper was empty, but the food was there. I said, people are brainwashed. People are so brainwashed. They fell for the trick. They fell for the red herring. They fell for the distraction. What's going on, Mama Foxa for? Country Wayne is... Hey, I'm going to give you a warning, Kevin Dickinson. If you keep trolling, I'm going to block you. But no, I ain't no Country Wayne. But I'm in the country, though. But that's the thing, like, that just let me know just how brainwashed and how, you know what I'm saying, they tell you this is what you need to be focused on. This is what you need to be mad about. You know what I'm saying? They try to get you mad about certain things that it's like, well, first off, that ain't even really affecting me or my community. Why should I be mad at that? Why you want me to go out and protest for this? This ain't got nothing to do with me. This ain't got nothing to do. But you want me to be mad and go protest because you said so. And you really want me to be mad and get emotional and go protest and do all this so my attention can be focused on this while whatever the enemy wants to do over here while I'm gone, he can do it or she can do it or they can do it. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the red herring right there. That's the red herring, and we've been falling for it for so long. Where they've been, you know what I'm saying? You know, getting our attention over here while our kids are dying and killing each other in the streets. They've been getting our attention over here while the food is literally poisoning us and we getting these diseases and we dying prematurely. You see what I'm saying? They've been getting us focused so much on the career and climbing the ladder that we neglecting our blood pressure and we having heart palpitations because we so stressed out. We're not even worried about health, which is longevity. We only worried about climbing the ladder. That's the red herring. Is the ladder and the career and the lifestyle that comes with that while neglecting your health simultaneously. And your health is what's going to be able to allow you to even show up to do the job. But sense doesn't make. They telling you to buy your food before the first of the month because the stores will be closed. Yep, that's another one. That's another one. They telling you to go up. You know what I'm saying? They telling you to go ahead and hurry up and buy this and buy that. And where all the profits is going to? All the profits is going to the corporations. It's going to the corporations. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a red herring, man. It's a red herring. And look, I'm about to tomorrow, I got a video coming out about, you know what I'm saying, the SNAP benefits and just my perspective and my take on it. But in that video, I give solutions because I'm a person of solution. I'm a person of a plan, right? And so in that video, and you're going to see it, but I'm going to just give y'all a spoiler. I talk about some things you can start doing right now and some things that you should start buying. First thing I say is buying bulk, right? Right now, what people need to be doing, if you haven't already been doing it, is start buying things in bulk. You know what I'm saying? Stop going and panic buying and all that type of stuff, but go and buy in bulk, right? And there are a few staples that should be in your home. A few staples that should be in your home: flour, cornmeal, potatoes, beans, dried beans, canned beans, it don't matter, beans. You see what I'm saying? What else? What else are some staples that y'all can think of? But like basically things that are gonna last a long time, have a long shelf life, but also be able to feed you and get you full. Oats, that's another one. Rice, that's another one. Me and my wife. So if y'all haven't ever heard of Azure Standard, go check out Azure Standard. That's Azure Standard. Azure Standard, you're able to buy certain things in bulk, like grains and different things, flour, all that type of stuff, oats, all that type of stuff, honey. We buy a lot of it in bulk, and you're able to get, you're able to get like 50-pound bags of this stuff, and so it lasts you. It lasts you a long time, and so that's what I recommend people buy. Learn how to cook from scratch. You can bake your own bread. All you need is flour, water, yeast, salt. You know what I mean? That's all you really need to bake your own flour with the oil. But anyways, I'm saying all this to say you should be buying things in bulk and buy staple things that's gonna be filling. Another thing too, if you know what I'm saying, for those of us who eat meat, leg quarters, chicken leg quarters. Now I know leg quarters get a bad rap a lot of the time. People are like, oh man, leg quarter. I don't want no leg quarter. If I go to the cookout, they serving leg quarters, I'ma leave. Man, that's you. If I go to the cookout, they got leg quarter, give me 2 of them. You feel me? But leg quarters right now, Like, especially if you want to bulk buy meat, leg quarters is the way to go because you get the drumstick and the thigh, and you can break them down, or you can leave them whole. And you can get, right now, you can go to Walmart and get I want to say it's a 10-pound bag of leg quarters for $7. You know how I know? Because I've been feeding all these dogs. And I go shopping for my dogs. So I be knowing the prices and stuff. Like, I know, okay, I go to Kroger, they got this sale. I go to Walmart, they got this sale. I go here, they got that sale. You know what I mean? But leg quarters, that's another staple. You could fill your deep freezer up with leg quarters. You know what I mean? Also, ground meat. Walmart, I know, especially in my area, Walmart has the tubes of ground turkey. It's $1.97 a piece. You know what I'm saying? For ground turkey. That's under $2. You can stack up on them. You see what I'm saying? So it's like different things like that. You should have a few staples that you buy a lot of that is going to get you through and going to, you know, stick to your ribs. Like the old folks would say back in the day, you know, this going to stick to your ribs. These rice and potatoes, or these beans or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you think a lot of our ancestors made it through the Great Depression? Beans, potatoes, you know what I'm saying? Hearty root vegetables, different things like that, rice, all that type of stuff. But you know, that's what I would recommend if you're gonna be going out into these stores and panic buying, which I don't recommend. Man, see, like, every time I be talking, man, my acid reflex want to act up. But that's what I would recommend going to buy. Go buy some big bags of flour, oil, olive oils, all that type of stuff. Big bags of rice. Me and my wife, we buy big bags of rice. The jasmine rice, you can get it from Walmart. Walmart got the best deal on it. The big bag, 20-pound bag, 50-pound bags of jasmine rice. You see what I'm saying? That's gonna last you 2, 3, 4 months, depending on how much you eat rice. You know, go buy you a few bags of potatoes, and this the thing. Try to buy the organic potatoes because you can let some of them go to seed. Meaning, you know what I'm saying? You know, once they sit for a while, they start sprouting, and you can chip those potatoes and grow yourself more potatoes. That's what you should be focused on buying right now. All right, let me see what the chat talking about. You speaking truth, focus, dang. All right, they want you to be emotional because you're easily manipulated by the enemy. Exactly. Focus on the prize, happiness of self. I agree. Speaking the truth. Appreciate that. G. Dean, appreciate that. Can you speak? I don't know what that means, Abiola. What does that mean? Erectus. You've been trying to tell people they give them the power to feed. I'm telling you. Yeah, man, you give them the power to feed you. They also got that same power to starve you. I say that in all of my videos. What advice can you give me as a transracial man? So basically, I went to the beach. Hey, man, all right, I'm finna go ahead and block you, bro. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put you in timeout. Are you trolling? Yeah, you finna go in timeout too. What is it? This is my town. Yeah, you finna go. Matter of fact, no, I'm gonna just block you. Beans, yeah, exactly, beans. Also, make sure you know how to store those things properly because they will get bugs in them if you don't. Exactly. I was going to hit on that. And matter of fact, I hit on that in the video. Matter of fact, I just recorded it today, but I hit on that in the video that I'm going to be dropping tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? In addition to bulk buying, store these things properly so they'll last you a long time. They'll have a long shelf life. So you want to be able to, and we talked about that, what it was, last week, the week before, we talked about that preservation methods. We talked about canning. We talked about freeze drying, dehydrating. We talked about freezing it if you want to. We talked about that. Vacuum sealing it. Yep, as your standard, she is Sunshine, exactly. I'm more of a chicken thigh and wing girl. Hey, I feel you, but I'm just saying as far as bulk. Matter of fact, and I'm gonna tell you, like, so I got a meat market up the street from me, right? They be having deals and stuff. So they have a deal going on right now, or really it's kind of ending, but they got a deal going on right now. It's a $75 bundle, right? You get leg quarters, and and I want to say it's drumsticks and chicken wings. You know what I'm saying? You get that for $75. It's 40 pounds of each, so you get 120 pounds of chicken for $75. You see what I'm saying? And like, I'm just saying, like, specifically talking survival, if you really want to like stock up and stuff like that, leg quarters is the cheapest and most cost-effective way to go. But if you want to do wings, that's cool too. But you know, wings be a little bit more pricier. That's why I say leg quarters. But hey, if you can get the wings, get the wings. If you can get the breast, get the breast. If you can get whole chickens, that's another one. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, as far as if you trying to, you know, stack up on something that's gonna like take you through a month or 2 or 3 months, and you go get the best bang for your buck, I'm telling you, go to Walmart. You know what I mean? And look, I know I teach self-sufficiency, right? But right now I'm just giving practical advice to people who don't got land or who don't got a backyard where they can raise chickens or nothing like that. I'm just giving real life, everyday practical advice that people who are in the cities, they can take heed to. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, those are some of the staples. No, I don't trust Wally Well for anything edible. I feel you. But I mean, it's a lot of people that shot the green tea. My parents have 3 gardens. Man, that's what's up. That's what's up. Also, if you plant sweet potato slips, it will take over your yard and you will have sweet potatoes. Exactly. Now, sweet potato, that's another one that slept on. Sweet potatoes grow like crazy. Matter of fact, I got to go harvest the ones I got, but they will take over your yard. They will. And you know what I'm saying? That's another good source. So in addition to regular potatoes, sweet potatoes is another one that I recommend people grow and buy. I started getting back into horticulture recently. This is great information because the masses are clueless to what is on our heels. Go back to your roots, people. Exactly. Go back to your roots, man, and just see the writing on the wall. You know what I mean? I'm not a fear monger, never have been, never will be. I just teach preparedness, and I try to warn people to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? When you see the writing on the wall, don't try to ignore it. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of take it serious and plan. Like yesterday, I talked about having a plan A, B, C, D. You know what I'm saying? Having multiple plans, having a backup plan for a backup plan. Aki and chat, late to the table again. Hey, it's all good, the off-grid trucker. It's all good, fam. You ain't missing nothing. We just talking about the red herring and how the enemy wants us distracted. Central, if you trolling, what is that? Central be alive? I don't know how you say that. But if you trolling, I'm gonna block you. You can vacuum seal it and add bay leaves to keep bugs away. Yep, vacuum sealing. If you are in the market for a vacuum sealer, I recommend the Cabela brand. That's the one I have. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid. But I mean, you can go on Amazon and pretty much look up what has the best reviews too. But from personal experience, because I've had my vacuum sealer for probably about over 2 years now, probably about 2.5, 3 years now, and it's been a champ. It's been solid. So Cabela brand vacuum sealer, I would recommend that. But yeah, you could vacuum seal it, you know what I'm saying? Put it in the 5-gallon bucket, store it like that. But yes, just make sure you are, or you can, you know what I'm saying? Like you could cook it and can it, you know what I'm saying? Preserve it that way. You could freeze stuff. But if you're gonna freeze it, make sure you are vacuum sealing it. I do say if you're gonna be freezing stuff, definitely vacuum seal it first because it's gonna last longer than if you just put it in Ziploc bags. I'm staying with a friend right now, but when I get my own place, I do not want no grass. Also, I gotta earn it and keep growing something. I'm telling you, I totally agree. I live in an apartment and grow all my herbs. See, BN, what is it? BN Hutch Corporation. That's what I be harping on that. You don't gotta have a house with a backyard, or you don't gotta have all these acres of land to start growing something. You see what I'm saying? If you have a balcony on an apartment or a townhouse where you live at, you could be like B Hutch say, you could start growing your own herbs right now. That way, at least the herbs you eat and you know it's fresh. Because this the thing, a lot of us want to be start screaming our mindset and say, well, it's all or nothing. If I can't grow all my food to get all my food, that you know what I'm saying, from whatever a good source of all that. No, just start where you at right now. Start where you at and start cutting back. Like the first thing that I recommend everybody do is cut out a lot of the fast foods. You see what I'm saying? Cut out a lot of processed foods. Because that way you know what I'm saying, you benefiting your health 10 times more by just cutting out fast food and processed food. You improving your health. You know what I'm saying? 10 times more. And then when you start to say, well, you know what, I'm gonna start going to these farmers markets, or I'm gonna start replacing the margarine for the real butter, or you know what I'm saying, the olive oil, the real olive oil, and you know, these different things like that. Then you improving your health more and more. But what is the whole goal? The whole goal is just to improve your health. How big, no matter how big or how small you do it, just start doing it. So if you can grow your own herbs and you don't have to go get the ones where you don't know if they done sprayed it with chemicals or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You just grow your own, but start where you at right now. If you got a balcony, start right there. If you borrow in the backyard, then do it like that. You know what I'm saying? If you got a standard size backyard, get you 5, 6 chickens, hens, you know what I'm saying? Get you about 2, 3 raised beds and just go to work. Do you? Oh yeah, I'm finna go ahead. I almost read that too. That be the thing about these bots, man. Yeah, I'm finna block you too. My bad, y'all. I'm blocking these trolls. And really they be bots. They ain't even really trolls, they just bots. These don't be real people on here, man. You can't convince me these be AI bots, man. These do not be no real folks. But I almost read that. Be careful on the olive oil. First of all, make sure it's the amber glass and not plastic. Olive oil from Morocco is better than any olive oil. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, do your due diligence. But I'm just saying, like, even if whatever, like, because this is the thing, I'm just an advocate for making a step in the right direction. You don't want to put too much on people that already is in a frenzy or already flustered. Man, just start, you know what I'm saying, somewhere. So if you just so used to eating this margarine or this lard or whatever, hey, just go get the olive oil you can afford. That's what I recommend. And then as you know what I'm saying, you get used to that, then you start shopping for the better brands and the more ethical ones. But start where you at. I mean, yes, we can sit here and say, well, yeah, well, that ain't good or whatever. I understand that, but at the same time, it's better than where they were. And you got to start somewhere. Everybody got to start somewhere. You feel what I'm saying? Because we all got areas in our life where it's like we had to start somewhere. We had to make a small, you know what I'm saying, a small pivot. And then we added it on as we learned more and did better. So, but I definitely appreciate that advice, Joy. Natural resources wealth. It's a whole different world when you appreciate the simple things nature has to offer for free. I definitely agree. And I just was talking about that the past few days. Natural resources that will stand the test of time, that are recession proof, that are depression proof, that won't lose value if the economy crashes. There's a few things, like I said, you got land, you got precious metals, you know what I mean? You got precious stones, different things like that. You know what I'm saying? That these things are natural resources that will not lose its value, but you also got skills as well. You got skills as well that will be very valuable resources too. But yeah, nature does offer a lot of things for free. Also, organic olive oil is the best. Yeah, see, she is sunshine. That's why, I don't really, I appreciate all the advice for sure, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't really get too specific because my goal is you do the research on your own, but just make the step in the right direction. You know what I mean? And for me personally, like I prefer more like avocado oils, and I prefer like real butter. You know what I mean? And like if you don't know, it's so easy to make your own butter. Like it's very very easy to make your own butter. All you need is heavy cream, and a whisk or a food processor or something to where you can shake it, and then you do that long enough and the butter starts to separate from the buttermilk, and now you got butter and buttermilk. So it's so easy to even make your own butter, but I prefer pure butter, you know what I'm saying, like real butter. But avocado oils are great too, but I know a lot of people like they budget ain't really conducive to the avocado oils or the grapeseed oils, and you know what I'm saying, even the olive oil sometimes. So that's why I say, man, just start where you at. But the first step that we can all start making is, hey, cut out a lot of that fast food and that processed food. Real food ain't in a box. Real food is not in the box with 30 different ingredients. That's not food. That's just something that's tasty and edible. That's the best way I can explain it. If it come in a box with 50 ingredients that you can't pronounce, it's not food. It's just tasty and edible and addictive. You see what I'm saying? And it triggers something in your brain to say, eat more, eat more, eat more. And once it's all gone, you're not even full. Like, for instance, like, this is when I start really, like, paying attention to certain stuff, is because, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially, like, if you black, you grew up in in the hood or whatever, like, you really kind of grew up off chips. You really kind of grew up off a lot of these, you know what I'm saying, processed food, honey buns, stuff like that. And so, you would eat these things, right? And I would eat these things, and you'll probably be satisfied for a little while, but then you can still go eat something else. Man, like the first time I tried like some real food, like rich food. Now I ain't saying like I ain't never had real food before, but I'm saying like rich food. Like for instance, if you ever had like like a nice steak, or you know what I'm saying, like just real ingredients though. You know what I'm saying? Nice potato, everything real ingredients. Man, that stuff will be so rich on your stomach that you can't even think about eating nothing else. You see what I'm saying? That's true fullness. That's true satisfaction. You don't get that from processed foods. With processed food, even a lot of these fast food processed foods, you don't get you don't get full off of it like that. You see what I'm saying? You might get a little satisfied, But like an hour later, you still gonna be hungry. When you eat real food, an hour later, you ain't gonna be hungry. That's just the truth about it. Like if you eating some real filling foods, that you know what I'm saying, good ingredients, you eat that and that's it on your stomach, you're not even gonna think about eating nothing else. You see what I'm saying? Because it's real food. It's doing what it's supposed to do. But when you buy food out of a box, it's not gonna do that. It's just gonna be edible. That's it, and it's gonna taste good. So we kind of got to get away from that, and that's one of the first steps. You know what I'm saying? Stop all this fast food and all that type. Especially like if you're gonna be affected by the SNAP, you know what I'm saying? The SNAP thing, what's going on? You're gonna be affected by that. The first thing you should stop doing is going buying fast food and processed foods. That's the first thing that's the first change you can make right now. Because just the thing, like you thinking $5 here. Oh, you know, I get the biggie bag for this much, or I go get a number 2 for $5 or $7 or $10 or whatever, right? Let's just say a week's worth of fast food where you spending $5, you know what I'm saying, for 5 days. That's $25. With $25, you can go get you a big bag of flour, a big bag of rice, a bag of potatoes, a bag of lead quarters, you know what I'm saying, get you a few canned good beans, and that'll last you for probably 2 weeks. You see what I'm saying? Because you can make the bread with the flour. You know what I mean? You can make it flat breads. You can make it loaf of bread. You know what I mean? Then you got the beans where you can pair with whatever. You can make rice that's gonna be satisfying to you. You can stretch that bag of chicken or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Ground turkey, whatever it is. You could stretch all that. You could mix and match it different days, do different things, mix and match it. But it's gonna sustain you a lot longer than, and that's just $25. That's just $25 what you could do that with. Right? But that's gonna last you a week. You feel what I'm saying? Whereas those meals just lasted you an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say like it all adds up. It all adds up. Also, say if you can get your honey from a local beekeeper, exactly. Go to farmers markets. You can, and we got Google now. You can Google like, you know what I'm saying, local, you know what I'm saying, local raw honey. You can Google that, and you know what I'm saying, it'll pop up if people in your area who are beekeepers, they sell honey. You know what I mean? But farmers markets, and then you know sometimes they just be on the side of the road, and then you just network with them, get their information, and keep in touch with them. Yeah. Oh, Joy say they a beekeeper. Okay. Yeah, that's what's up. But this is the thing, like with the red herring though, right? We've been so distracted. And hold on, I'm just referring to my notes, y'all. We've been so distracted that the main thing doesn't even appear to us no more. The main problem, the main idea, like we all, you know what I'm saying, in school, when you do a book report, right? Or when you read any sort of literature, what does the teacher ask you? What is the main idea? Not what are the sub points, not what is, you know what I'm saying, the title of this chapter or the, you know what I'm saying? No, what is the main idea? Like, yeah, you can tell me the sub points and the subplots and all that type of stuff, but I need to know if you can grasp what the overarching theme or idea was in what you just read. And what has happened is we've gotten so lost in the subplots or the characters or this, that, and the third, the little small, minute details that don't make a huge difference in the grand scheme of things. That's what we're focused on, and that's what our attention is stayed on a lot of times, while the main idea is not getting fixed. It's only getting worse. It's only getting worse. And this is in every area of life, not even just our food source, but our food source is so important. Our food source is one of the most important things that we should really be talking about and really like pondering on and making a plan about, but we're distracted by social justice. You know what I mean? Not saying social justice ain't important, but social justice don't mean nothing when everybody hungry. You see what I'm saying? It don't mean nothing when, and let me rephrase that. I ain't even just gonna throw a broad social justice. I'm gonna say certain things socially that they tell us we should care about that don't really mean a whole lot. You see what I'm saying? Because some things socially are very, very important, right? So let me rephrase that. But you know what I'm saying? We missing the main plot while we stuck in the weeds. We stuck in the nuances. You see what I'm saying? We stuck in the little details. Come on, man. We playing semantics when the main idea ain't even being figured out by a lot of people. They just so busy playing semantics. I shop at Costco and Sam's Club. You get those big bags of potatoes, cut and prep as much as you can, blanch and freeze most of it. Exactly. Costco and Sam's, yeah, for sure. Costco and Sam's is definitely a staple where you can go and buy in bulk. And like you said, just knowing how to preserve it right. Yes, he does, Ed. Yes, he does. Yep. And but yeah, like so with the red herring, like it's just done a number on us, right? It's just done a number on us. And so, you know what I'm saying? When we are distracted, the enemy wins every time. And so usually what I tell people when they so upset about something, because first off, nothing should get you so upset to the point to where you're irrational and you're not even thinking straight. Nothing should get you that upset. If somebody is trying to tempt you or tell you you should be so upset, like to the point of that, then you need to take a step back and say, hold on, what am I missing right now? What am I not paying attention to? Because it's a reason why they're trying to get my attention on this so much. What is really, truly going on behind the scenes? Because if you ever notice, like a lot of the times when these uprisings or riots or, you know what I'm saying, people storming this building, you know what I'm saying, a lot of this stuff is happening, this turmoil. I'm going to let this motorcycle go by. But when a lot of this turmoil is happening and people's attention is, you know what I'm saying, on the news and on this and on that, they usually somewhere in the back room signing the law into place that's affecting all of us. Or they just broke off this country $40 billion. They just broke that country off $100 billion. They just broke that country off $10 billion. Feel what I'm saying? While we starving over here, while people finna go hungry, we got $40 billion to just, you feel me, cash them out. You feel like that don't even make sense. That's why I say people gotta start looking at the whole board. That's why I'm an avid chess player. You know what I'm saying? And I like to refer to the game of chess a lot because in chess, people throw red herrings. And what a red herring is in chess is if any of y'all are familiar with chess, right? Like say for instance, you know what I'm saying, somebody put their queen to the point to where their queen can get captured. They really sacrificing that queen because they lining you up. That queen is a red herring. And most people gonna bite at that red herring and at that queen because that queen is the most valuable, no, not the most valuable, but the most powerful piece, you know what I'm saying, on either side. The queen is. Because the queen can move like a rook, the queen can move like a bishop, the queen can move like a pawn, the queen can move like everybody on the board except a knight, right? Because a knight moves in the L shape. A knight jumps in the L shape, meaning 3 up, 1 over, 3 up, 2 over, I want to say. It's but in the L shape. I ain't gonna get into the, you know what I'm saying, too many details. But the queen is able to move like every piece except a knight. So that makes the queen so powerful. The queen, I'm talking about, can go from this end of the board to that end of the board. The queen can do whatever they want to do or she want to do, right? So if somebody is putting their queen in harm's way intentionally, you know that that's a red herring. You know that there is a reason why they are willing to sacrifice their queen because they are already thinking 5 steps ahead of you because if you take this queen, they already got you lined up and the game is already over. The checkmate is just a matter of time. But they throw that red herring on purpose. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times people will miss the lineup. They'll miss the double cross. They'll miss it. Because why? They're not looking at the whole board. They're not looking at the whole board. They just looking at the queen right here. They looking at what's the most important or the most powerful piece right here. Just like in life, where we just looking at, you know what I'm saying, what the hype is all about right now. So that's what everybody fixated on and focused on. And we just looking at the hype. So this is where all our attention go focus, and we gonna bite on this right here while they lined us up over here. While we only got 5 more moves till they checkmate us. Cause they already done signed this into place. They already done did that, monopolized that, bought this, did that. They done lined you up. So that's why I say, look at the whole board. Because, and look, if you're a beginner chess player, you already know it's going to be a lot of those red herrings you're going to fall for. But as you start getting experience and your eyes start getting trained, meaning you start looking at the whole board and saying, okay, if I take his queen, then he can pin my queen and my king and my rook, and he can get me on a fork, a double fork, a triple fork. You know what I'm saying? And then once he get me on that fork, then the checkmate, he gonna deliver the checkmate with the bishop because I see it already in position right here. And if I bite on this, I for sure won't be able to escape this checkmate. You see what I'm saying? But that comes with experience. And that comes with not falling for the red herrings because it's enticing to collect to take that queen off the board, but is it worth it? Because you could take that queen and lose the game. Lose the whole game. You see what I'm saying? A person could have, you know what I'm saying? Like you can be really up on the person where you done took their queen, their rooks, their knights. They only got one bishop, a king, and 2 pawns, and they can still beat you if they are positioned the right way. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's important to not fall for the distractions and the red herrings and look at everything that's going on in totality. Don't just look at what you saw on the news right here and what you saw on TikTok. Look at everything that's going on. Look at what they doing on Capitol Hill. You feel what I'm saying? Look what they about to pass in your state. Look what they about to pass in your county. Look at everything that they are doing. Look at the manifestos that they have written. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but we don't think like that because we you know what I'm saying? Like, we just think like, I don't even know what it is. And it's really like a spell a lot of people are under. It's like a spell a lot of people are under. Life can be a game of chess, I'm telling you. And like when you learn how to start playing chess, man, I remember, you know, people have been trying to get me to learn it for years. And then there's one guy, you know what I'm saying, I met him. And, you know, like me and him, we clicked, you know, first day. And he was like, man, you know what I'm saying, like, because we asked him about, you know what I'm saying, hobbies and stuff like that. He's like, man, I play a lot of chess. I'm like, okay. He was like, yeah, man, I'm telling you, you need to learn it. I'm telling you, like, especially like the way you think. He said, man, you know what I'm saying, you'll really benefit from it. And, you know, he was talking that and everything. He was even teaching me a little bit of stuff, but my mind wasn't really on that right then. And then one day I just decided to download the app and learn how to play it. And as I learned how to play it, I'm like, man. And as I start playing it more and more and more, like people think it's just a boring game where it's just like you moving people. Man, chess is better than any video game that I've ever played. You see what I'm saying? Because it causes you to think, but not only that, it causes you to reflect on life. And with every move and with every piece that means something, you can equate it to something in life. You see what I'm saying? But yes, life can be like a game of chess. First time here having a word of learning. Okay, most definitely, Joy. Subscribe to the channel. Like I say, my goal over here is to inspire and teach. So you're going to be inspired over here and you're going to learn something. So yeah, definitely subscribe to the channel. What's going on? Who's that? Beats. What's going on, fam? What's going on, Growing What I Eat? Peace, family. Yeah, Growing What I Eat. Thank you for tuning in. But yeah, so again, right? You got to look at the whole board. You got to, you know, and like I said, it's kind of almost like a spell. What's going on, Loyal? Subscribed already. Okay, appreciate you. Welcome to the fam. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the South Gardens family. Chess definitely thinking gang got to survey the board and make the best move. Yes, make the best move. And I'm gonna tell you something else that chess teaches you. It teaches you that, hey, first off, you got to know when to be defensive and you got to know when to be offensive. What's going on, Shalom? Malik, what's going on, fam? Learn how to play it in the 8th grade, never forgot. Yeah, and that's one of those things you really, you know, you don't really forget how to play it. But one thing the game of chess teaches you is when to be defensive and when to be offensive. Because to be a good chess player, you got to be good on defense and offense. I would say equally, almost equally, right? Because, and look, I'm gonna tell you, and this is a part of my strategy too. Like it's certain times where I be playing chess heavy, and there's certain times where I won't play chess at all. Because I need to give my mind a little time to rest. And usually when I come back, I'm a lot sharper, right? That's free game. If you play chess, you know what I'm saying? Like when you play it a lot. But then when you know what I'm saying? When you feel yourself kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Your mind kind of foggy. Take a step back from it for about a week or 2 or 3 and then come back. I bet you your mind will be sharper. But with chess, you know what I'm saying? One thing I learned, like as I've gotten more seasoned, you know what I'm saying? I ranked up a little bit. Nowadays when I be playing people and they just out the gate aggressive, I'm like, yeah, that person ain't a good defensive player. Because they straight off the blitz, you know what I'm saying? Straight off the offense with a blitz. You know what I'm saying? Like, if any of you know the game of football, you know blitzing has its time and place. You're not supposed to just be blitzing when, you know what I'm saying, first quarter, first down. You know, why is you blitzing? What sense do that make? You see what I'm saying? No, be strategic. You know what I mean? So when people usually be aggressive off the bat, you know what I'm saying, with a game of chess, I know, like, this person ain't good at defense. And all I got to do is defend myself properly, and then I can come with the attacks because they ain't going to know how to handle them. Because they used to playing quick games where they checkmate somebody quick because they got a set of moves they already know. But usually when that fails, they will fail. If you know how to block those moves and you know what to do to, you know what I'm saying, to not fall to that red herring that they trying to throw, and you come on the offense, you know what I'm saying, they're not going to be able to stop your attacks because they don't know how to play defense. So that's why I say you got to learn how to play offense and defense equally. You know what I'm saying? And this is in life. Know when to be strategic and fall back and defend, but also know when to be on the attack and when to apply pressure, when to put the blitz in. You know what I'm saying? Because both of them are needed, right? What they say, like, I know we harp on the quarterbacks, the Lamar Jacksons, the Tom Brady's, all that type of stuff, and the running backs, all these good running backs and the wide receivers. We harp on them, right? And they do their thing. They go score touchdowns. But what do they say? Who do they say win championships? Defense. Defense wins championships. It ain't as glamorous though. It ain't as glamorous when you holding down the field, when you holding, you know what I'm saying, holding the offense back and you preventing them from scoring and getting in your end zone. That ain't really glamorous unless you lay a big hit. But most of the time it's just strategic, putting this person in the right place, you know what I mean, this coverage and cover him and stop them and do that so we can turn the ball over so we can score. But defense wins championships. But you need offense and defense both to win. So that's why I say in life, we got to know when to be on the defense. We got to know when to identify the red herrings. But once the red herrings are identified, then we got to know how to come on the offense. What plan are we putting in place? What are we doing to prepare? What are we stocking up? How are we preserving it? What is our 6-month plan? What is our 1-year plan to be self-sufficient? What is our plan to get livestock and to get this and do that? And what is your plan? So knowing the defense, right? Seeing the play, what's going on, seeing what they doing, the laws they passing, the things that they putting in place in motion, trying to, you know, get you to bait and bite on this hook, learning that. And then when you say, okay, I got to figure it out, I know what they doing, and this is how I'm gonna avoid it. Once you got that, then now you start planning your offense and how you can totally really disconnect from their game. Really, that's what it is, because you don't want to play that game. You know the bet. You know when you like. All right, how do I want to say this? The best way to win the game, you know what I'm saying, especially in this place that we're living in, the best way to win the game against these people who really, you know what I'm saying, you ain't got no choice but to be in the game. You ain't asked to be in the game. But the best way to win the game is to unplug from it. And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So when you are on the offense, that's you making your exit strategy. That's you making your exit strategy. Because a lot of people think, oh, it's win or lose, you know what I mean? Meaning, you know what I'm saying, if I win, that means, you know, I won the game. But what about the person who disconnects from the game? You know what I'm saying? Like what about the dude who, you know what I mean, didn't fall into the street beef and all that type of stuff, but he distanced himself from that, and he went on and he got a good career or started a business and started making money, had a family. He's the one who won, even though, you know, they might have killed some of his friends over here. You know what I'm saying? You know how they saying now, oh, up the score, all that type of stuff, get even, get back, right? But the guy who disconnects and say, you know what, I ain't even gonna fall into the street game no more. I ain't gonna fall into the street beef no more. I'm gonna disconnect. I'm gonna go make myself a better man, and I'm gonna carve a way for myself, a path for myself, and start a family. That's the person who won because he didn't play the game. He disconnected from the game. So I'm saying that's what we need to do. We need to disconnect from the game. That's how we win. You see what I'm saying? That's how we win long term. When we say, you know what, I'm not going to be dependent on you anymore. I'm not going to be dependent on this no more. I'm going to just detach from it. And that way, you don't have a certain power over me. And I'm not relying on, you know what I'm saying, how you feel at the moment and whatever you feel like you want to do. I'm not dependent on that because I already have my path beaten. You know what I mean? I already have my path established. You're absolutely right. I just start off, wait, hold on. You're absolutely right. I usually start off slow just to get a gist of how my opponent play. Know exactly growing what I eat. That's what I do. Like I like to study people. And again, everything I'm saying about chess, you can apply this to life, right? I like to kind of study people and see what type of player they are. And usually when I'm playing somebody who is as equally cautious as me, because this the thing, when you're too aggressive, you miss a lot of stuff. When you're too aggressive, like for instance, like everybody knew those tough dudes growing up, those bully type tough dudes where they just fly off the handle. You know what I mean? But this is the thing, right? Those type of dudes, they never last long. Those type of personalities never last long because they miss a lot. You see what I'm saying? Like they're not assessing the situation. You see what I'm saying? So they really putting themselves in harm's way. A lot of times because you underestimating people, you don't know who is around, you don't know who. All you know is that you mad and you gonna come off aggressive. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same way in chess. I like to look at it like that. And then I'm gonna tell you something. That's the same way with what you see going on now in this country. You see fast moving shocking, you know what I'm saying, shocking people's way of life. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that's been happening has been happening at an accelerated rate, if you notice. At an accelerated rate. And that's gonna be the downfall. If you read between the lines, you know what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't like to, you know what I'm saying, talk politics, but I'm just saying what I've noticed. A lot of this stuff that's been going on and happening, it's been at an accelerated rate. And that's on purpose. However, it was poorly calculated, and that's going to be the demise, you know what I'm saying, of you know what I'm saying, the current what's going on. That's going to be the demise. The fact that things have been happening so fast and too fast. You see what I'm saying? But when you peep that, which a lot of people have, they haven't bit the red herring. A lot of people ain't bit the red herring. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of us know what the plan was. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of us didn't fall for it. You know what I'm saying? And what was the plan? To get you worked up, to get you, you know what I'm saying, doing something that we are so used to kind of doing, right? Only for the response to be something, you know what I mean? If you read between the lines, you know what I'm saying. But that's gonna be the demise. So usually when people, and this is why I say, man, observe. You know what I'm saying? Like be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. I teach that all the time. Be wise as a serpent, and Christ said that. Be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Meaning the serpent is cunning. He's wise. He's able to slither here, do that, do that. A lot of times you might have a snake living around your property and you won't even know it. Because they looking at you. You know what I'm saying? Like I done had a snake on my porch, right? And I'm pretty sure like he, you know what I'm saying, like he would see, you know what I'm saying, what we doing or whatever. And he would try to avoid us. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of times a snake will, you know what I'm saying, just study and observe, right? And be cunning and be slick. You know what I mean? You probably won't even know a lot of times that's a snake somewhere close by. But this is the thing. Also be harmless, meaning don't be malicious with the intel that you gather. Don't be gossiping with the stuff that you peeped, and you know what I'm saying? Don't try to turn it and use it for malicious intent and be evil towards people with it, or manipulate people with it, or try to hold power over people's head with it, or blackmail people. No. Just be wise, just peep it, fall back. Come up with a strategy, an exit strategy if you need to. Come up with a plan to go forward. That's why I say, if you peeping what's going on right now, you should be making a plan and having a strategy. You see what I'm saying? Going forward, seeing what's happening. Love from Israel. Hey, shout out to Israel. What's going on? Hi from Michigan. Shout out to Michigan. What's going on, Tommy? What's up? What's going on, brother? We just talking about the red herring and the okie doke. And really, that's a better word for it, the okie doke. People fall for the okie doke all the time. You know what I'm saying? But I like the term red herring because, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's really the summation of what's happening right now. It's red herrings being thrown all over the place. Red herring here, red herring here. Bite at this, bite at that, bite at this. When the whole time you ain't supposed to be looking at none of this. You're supposed to be looking up, or you're supposed to be looking over here. This is where your attention should truly be on, because this is the real problems right here that have the most significant consequences, right? This is what we should truly be focusing on. But we focused on the little things, and we focused on this, or what appeals the most at the moment. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff a lot of this stuff don't even matter in a year. A lot of this stuff won't even matter in 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. See what I'm saying? That's how life has been. Things that mattered a lot 10 years ago, we don't even talk about to this day. We don't even talk about this day unless, you know what I'm saying, it's a history lesson, or you reminiscing. Like a lot of the problems that you may have had 10 years ago, now you don't even think about those problems. Don't get lost in the distraction. Exactly, Tisha, what's going on? Don't get lost in the distraction. But a lot of the stuff you might have been stressing over, let's just say 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? You might have lost your job, or you know what I'm saying, you might have got in debt real bad, or you might have been late on the light bill, on the rent, facing eviction, or facing your lights being turned off, and you was stressing. I'm talking about you was really like going through it about that. Are you thinking about that light bill now? Are you thinking about that eviction notice right now in 2025? No, you are not. Because again, like that was something that had your attention then, but it didn't really mean a hill of beans in the long term. Because when the lights get cut off, now what? Okay, well, I'm going to blow some candles. Now I'm going to figure out how I can get the money to get it back on. The eviction notice come. Okay, now we got evicted. Okay, so now we got to get out, go get the U-Haul, move to another place. Now you in a whole new place, and now, you know what I'm saying, you living your life. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like, it had you stressing so bad, but then when it did happen or it didn't happen, it didn't really mean a whole lot once it was over with. You feel what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? Like, the stuff we have anxiety over and we worry about, when it comes to pass or when it's over, we realize, hey, that wasn't even that bad. That wasn't even, you see what I'm saying? That wasn't even worth even putting a lot of that energy and that time on, and that worry, I shouldn't even been worrying that much. You see what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, right now, we got to be careful about the distractions that are being thrown in the red herrings. Look, I said I wasn't gonna be on long. Now we at 60 minutes. Now we at an hour. But it is what it is, you know. I appreciate y'all in the chat. But let me know if I'm making sense, chat. Let me know if I'm making sense. You feel me? Cause I wanna make sure like this is really being understood and that this makes sense. But like with a red herring, like if you ever been in like an argument with a person, right, where you know you was right, it could have been your spouse. It could have been whoever, especially your spouse or your significant other, and y'all, you arguing about something. Well, you know what I'm saying? This person, they dead wrong, but then they throw something out there, and then it might have been a mistake you made in the past that y'all already went through it by, and now that done changed the whole course of the argument. You done bit the red herring, and now the table done flipped on you, and now you the one defending yourself when you came to your significant other with this problem that you had with them. That's usually how a lot of times when people are cheating, you know what I'm saying? When people are cheating or doing wrong to their significant other, their spouse, that's how they manipulate them. Because, you know what I'm saying, the person who's being cheated on might be like, well, like coming to them like real serious, like and expressing they how they feel. But then the person who's doing the cheating gonna say, how can I manipulate this person? How can I flip it on this person right now? I'm going to throw a red herring out here. Well, you work all the time, or well, you don't do this, or you don't do that, or well, you did this before, or well, you did that before. And it's like, whoa, hold on. You on trial, not me. You the one been caught doing wrong. How you going to try to flip it on me? That's a red herring. That's a manipulation tactic. That's a manipulation tactic. A red herring, that's all it is. Whether it's in an argument, whether it's what's going on with propaganda, it's all manipulation. And what is manipulation? Manipulation is witchcraft. That's why I say it's like a spell. It's like a spell. I'm telling you, it is a spell. To manipulate you. An hour. I'm late for some vital information. You are making big sense. Much appreciated. Okay, appreciate it, Tisha. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm making sense. Right? But no, that's all it is, right? It's to manipulate you. You know what I'm saying? It's to get you worked up in your feelings about this or that. But don't fall for the red herrings. Right now, what I want everybody who's watching this live to do is really just observe and pay attention. Yes, you can feel how you feel about what's happening and all this stuff, just in anything in life. You can feel how you feel. But don't get so in your feelings and so worked up that you're not able to observe and see what's going on behind the scenes. That's what everybody should be doing right now. Everybody should really be paying attention, being observant, and studying what's happening right now. And when you do that, you won't bite that bait. You won't fall for the red herring. You won't fall for the okie doke. And a lot of people are waking up to that, truly. A lot of people, that's what a lot of people are doing. A lot of people are doing that. People not just being blindly led anymore, falling for the propaganda. It's the reason why, it's called propaganda. You know what I mean? It's to paint a picture to you in a certain light, in a certain way. And as somebody who's a content creator, I know the power of propaganda, because if you are a content creator and you're putting out content, you're able to make things appear as you want them to be, and not how they truly are. You see what I'm saying? Because, you know what I'm saying, you see, for instance, we homesteading or whatever, you know what I'm saying? For all y'all know, I could be squatting on somebody else's land right now. Or I could be living in a garage and you know what I'm saying, this ain't even my house. But guess what? That's what I portray. So that's what you're gonna believe. Like, I'm not saying that that's true, but I'm just saying, like, that's the power of propaganda. That's the power of putting out content and putting out information in the world, you can frame it how you want to frame it. You can frame it how you want to frame it. Because you'll be surprised, a lot of, like even with TV shows, for instance, MTV Cribs was one of them. Back in the day, I used to love watching MTV Cribs. Because, you know, like growing up, especially when you you know what I'm saying, you come from the hood, like we used to have a game, what we call bingo. And let me know if y'all know what I'm talking about. Bingo. We were little kids, right? And you know what I'm saying, we'll be in the neighborhood, or we'll be wherever. And we'll see a nice car ride past. You know what I'm saying? Somebody riding a donk, or somebody got big rims on their car, somebody got a nice car. Hummers was real popular back then. You know what I'm saying? Cadillac, Escalade, spinning rims, all that was popular back then. Right? So if we see one of them ride by, we say bingo. Bingo mean that's my car. You know what I'm saying? I called it. You know what I'm saying? So like those are just games we would play, like bingo. Like, oh, bingo. No, I called bingo first. You know, you'd be fighting with your cousin. No, I called bingo first. No, man, that's my car. No, you got bingo on the last car, right? I say that to say we used to watch MTV Cribs. And on MTV Cribs, they be going into these rappers or whoever, the entertainers, and you see, oh man, they got 2 basketball courts in the house. They got an indoor pool, jacuzzi, studio, mansion. Come to find out, years later, they was renting and leasing those places. But they was able to push it to you like that was their life, and that was their lifestyle, and they had that much money, and that was their houses. When really, they might have been leasing that house or renting that house for just that day to stunt. You feel me? To flex. And that ain't even their house. They can't even afford that. That's why when Redman did his, I don't know if y'all saw MTV Cribs with Redman. Redman had an apartment where he had a roommate. You feel me? He was like, this my real house. And I was like, boy, I can respect that. That's real. I can respect that. But most of the time, they wouldn't do that. And years later, you'll come to find out these ain't even these people real house. They just been stunting. But I say all that to say is that they can paint it in a way to where it's believable. Because, you know what I'm saying, the person who controls the camera and the narrative, they can push whatever story they want to. They can push whatever story they want to. They can say, oh, these people are rioting, looting, and all this stuff, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, what they did with the Katrina victims. Oh, they loot and they ride and they this, they that. These people are trying to survive. They ain't got no lights. A place flooded. They ain't got no drinkable water. What you mean they looting? They're surviving. Like, what? Nah, for real, though. And we think these people have it all together because that is what they want us to think. We have to stay focused on our mission and what we are called to do. Exactly. Everything ain't always what it seems. You might be looking at this celebrity, you thinking, you know what I'm saying, he got the chains on, this, that, and the third. You might, man, he a millionaire, man. He got money, he got this, he got that. Come to find out, this Negro broke. That's moissanite right there. That's rented jewelry. That's his homeboy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you thinking they got so much money because that's how they appear. You feel what I'm saying? They, you know what I'm saying? They got the fame, but do they really have the fortune? And look, this is just everything, but I'm just saying to stuff as far as what we can relate to what we see in the black community. That's what the media does. Exactly, Cheryl. That's what the media does. You see what I'm saying? Like that's why I try to be as transparent as possible. You know what I'm saying? With y'all, because like I'm like, man, because it's easy to manipulate. It's easy, especially when you a content creator, when you can like paint a picture with your videos, or you know what I'm saying? Man, it's easy to manipulate people. You can have people thinking like, man, they doing a lot, they doing this, they doing that. Woo, woo, woo. Man, you could really like paint it in a way to where it's super exaggerated and it's not true. But what is that? That's manipulation. That's lying, right? And all of it is distractions. You see what I'm saying? It's to distract people to do whatever you want to do, whether you want to profit from these people, you know what I mean? Like people have agendas, right? That's usually the reason for the distractions and the red herrings, is because nearby somewhere there is an agenda. And when there is an agenda, of course, they're going to try to do everything to make this agenda come to fruition, even if they have to deceive you or manipulate you into taking your attention off of this. You feel what I'm saying? You get my drift? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? But just be on alert. Just be on the lookout. Do your due diligence. Do your research. You know what I mean? And see what's truly going on out here. And I ain't saying as far, because a lot of people think research is, well, I'm going to go on TikTok, I'm going to go on Instagram or Facebook, and I'm going to see what this person got to say about it. No, research is you reading it yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Research is you know what I mean, looking up statistics yourself. Because that's another red herring that's going on right now. Well, 13% of the population is 50% of this. Y'all know what I'm saying. That's not even true. When you do the research on that, that's not even true at all. But it's a red herring, though. That's what it truly is, because it takes away the point from what's truly going on. Because why are you sweeping at my front door and you ain't swept yours? That's hypocrisy. That's hypocrisy. You got all this to say about a certain demographic or community when your demographic or community isn't perfect. And not to make it racial, but I'm just, like, we just got to call it what it is. Because how you gonna get the mote out of my eye or the speck out of my eye when you got a whole beam in yours? And this goes for anybody and anything. You feel what I'm saying? But it's a lot of times it'd be a red herring to get the attention off of me. I don't want to be exposed for what I'm doing or what I have done. So I'm gonna point out the wrongs that's going on in your, you know what I'm saying, your household. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to talk about me beating on my wife, so I'm gonna talk about, you know what I'm saying, how you talk to your kids. What does that got to do with anything? You see what I'm saying? Like, you wrong, dude. You know what I'm saying? You wrong. You shouldn't be beating your wife, but you want to throw the red herring and say, well, you talk to your kids rough. So what? She got a black eye right here. We need to discuss this right here, right now. But you trying to throw the red herring out to manipulate me to try to defend myself. But yeah, man. Sometimes I be getting a little too intense. Yeah, these flies still ain't open. They think we forgot. Exactly. Oh, those fouls. Look, I ain't gonna talk about that. I be getting too intense sometimes, man. Cheryl said, preach. Yeah, but again, like, a lot of this stuff is just red herrings, and we have to really pay attention and really just be diligent. But like I said, the main thing we should all be focused on right now is self-sufficiency. Buy books. Like I say, buy those books I recommended. 3 of them I recommended. Right, go buy those books. You know what I'm saying? Go start your garden if you haven't already. Go buy some seeds. You know what I mean? Go buy those items that I talked about in bulk. You know, the potatoes, the beans, the rice, the oats. You know what I'm saying? The flour, the cornmeal. Go buy those things in bulk right now. You feel what I'm saying? So let's stop eating. Let's cut back from the fast foods. Let's cut back from a lot of this stuff and really prepare for the future. Let's add to the storehouse while we can. Say hi, cowboy. What's going on, fam? What's going on, Kevin? Don't be no troll now. Yeah, don't be no troll. But yeah, so like that's the stuff we should be focused on right now, right? That's why I always like to say, man, I'm gonna sweep around my nothing wrong with being passionate about the truth. Now I agree, Tisha. Yeah, but this the thing though, like I don't know if y'all ever experienced this, but like, cause I'm the type of person where like I can be super intense. That's why I be trying to hold back. You know what I mean? I be trying to hold back on what I say because it's like I don't like small talk. You know what I'm saying? Like you talking to somebody, they want to talk about the weather. They want to talk, man, I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about what's real, what's going on. And a lot of times like that, you know what I'm saying? People don't necessarily like that. You know what I'm saying? People don't necessarily want to talk about what we truly should be doing or what's really going on. And so I just kind of like, you know what I'm saying, be more dialed back and reserved. But that's why I be having to catch myself sometimes. But again, back to what I was saying. All the stuff that I said, let's start doing this stuff right now. Your survival in your state or your situation is your responsibility. It's not the government's responsibility to feed you. It's not the corporation's responsibility to feed you. It's not the government's responsibility to get you water or protect you. That's your responsibility as a human. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and block you, Tyler. Hi, user from channel. And that be the thing. People be commenting on my videos too, not just the lives, but people be commenting on my videos. I block people. Like, you're not gonna be able to even see my videos. If you come with like something too crazy, now I ain't saying you can't disagree, but if you come talking crazy, I'm gonna block you from my channel. And you're not gonna be able to even see my videos unless you make another account and search my name up. Or search the name of the platform up. You see what I'm saying? But it's your responsibility. Your survival is your responsibility. It's not the government's responsibility to feed you, to clothe you, to protect you. Because the government has failed us a lot of times, especially us as black people, because they used to own us. so you know what I'm saying? So like that just goes to we been knew what time it was. We been knew if we gonna get free, it's our responsibility to get our freedom. Meaning if we gotta run away, meaning if we gotta, you know what I'm saying, get whipped, if we gotta try to do whatever to get free, we gonna do that. Because it ain't nobody's responsibility to get us free but our own. And that's how our ancestors thought. It ain't nobody's responsibility to get us our civil rights and our voting rights but our own. So we're going to take to the streets. So we're going to do sit-ins. So we're going to do protests. So we're going to approach it from either a non-violent type of way or, you know what I'm saying, eye for eye type of way. Whatever it is, that's how we going to do it. And that's what we did. And so right now, I'm telling you, it's not their responsibility to provide those basic 4 fundamentals: water, food, shelter, protection. That is your responsibility. 3 books you mentioned in this live. No, not in this live. It was in a it was in a previous live. But it's Back to Basics. You can look all these up on Google. Back to Basics. 40 backyard projects for your homestead and stories guides to raising backyard chickens. And those pretty much talk about everything homestead and self-sufficiency. Excuse me. Once we all realize nobody's here to save us, that's when we'll wake up. Exactly. And that's what's happening. A lot of people waking up. What's going on, Caleb? A lot of people waking up right now. They seeing what's truly going on. You know what I'm saying? Their eyes is open. So, you know what I'm saying? I got hope for people. But we just got to continue to bring awareness. That's all it is. And really snap people out of the distractions. Like it's like we got to snap our fingers so they can snap out of it. And stop looking at all these distractions and say, man, this is what we need to be focused on. Not all this. You feel me? But I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go because my phone about to die. Yeah, my phone about to die. So I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go, man. But I'm going to say it again. I say this all the time in all my videos. He who has the power to feed you also has the power to starve you. See y'all on the next one.